Hello everyone, this is Xiaolin. Today I'm going to present my work, NFTDisk, Visual Detection of Wash Trading in NFT Markets. This paper is a joint study by researchers from Sichuan University, Singapore Management University, and Yong Technology. First, I will introduce the background of our paper. NFTs are unique digital items stored on the blockchain and served as tradable ownerships of some digital assets, such as images and videos. NFTs can be traded in NFT markets. However, the huge potential of NFT markets attracts a large number of investors, and at the same time, many fraudulent activities also follow. Among them, wash trading is one of the most common frauds in NFT markets, which manifests as a group of colluding addresses pretending to trade NFTs. It attempts to mislead investors by creating fake trading volumes and prices. For wash trading detection, automatic detection can only find a subset of wash trading due to their sophisticated patterns. Manual inspection is usually required, but it is hard to get useful information directly from the original transactions. To solve this problem, we propose NFTDisk, a novel visualization for investors to visually identify and analyze wash trading activities in NFT markets. NFTDisk contains two visualization modules, the disk module and the flow module. The disk module is a radial visualization with a disk metaphor to provide a quick overview of NFT transactions over time to help users recognize suspicious address groups. The flow module is a flow-based design to visualize NFT flows at multiple levels. The disk module consists of the outer ring and the inner circle. In the outer ring, the addresses are placed evenly around the circle, with each address occupying a radius of the circle at a specific angle. The passage of time, or the timeline, is represented by moving along the radius from the inner circle to outer circle. A radial gradient blue background is used to show the monthly average price or trading volume, where the depth of the blue indicates the specific value, and the change over time is represented by the inner circle to the outer circle. NFT transactions are encoded by the arcs between the two angles which represent the two addresses involved. The distance of the arcs to the center of the circle depends on when the transaction took place. The arcs have two colors, encoding the status of transactions, green for sale status and yellow for transfer status. We use the white lines along the radius to link the first and the last transaction of the addresses, representing this radius. In the inner circle, we introduce the suspicious score to indicate possibility of colluding address pairs. The height of the inner paths represent their suspicious score. The higher the height of the inner paths, the higher the suspicious score of the address pair. The flow module consists of a stacked area chart and a flow-based chart. The stacked area chart shows the NFTs held by selected addresses at the group level. The flow-based chart can demonstrate both the NFT held by each address and the transaction history of these NFTs. To evaluate the effectiveness and usability of NFTDisk, we conducted two case studies and a user interview with 14 NFT investors. We use a video to show how users analyze wash trading in the NFT collection named Mibits with NFTDisk.
First, the expert configured the visualization by the toolbar, such as changing the background and setting the address filtering threshold or the time range. In the inner circle, he found that most of the inner paths were of a high height, which meant that addresses connected by these inner paths had a high suspicious score of collusion. In the outer ring, he found that there were a lot of obvious shapes consisting of many consecutive arcs, of which a large green block and a circle of small green blocks caught his attention. These green blocks indicated some groups of addresses had traded heavily in NFTs within a relatively short time, which was a sign of wash trading. Then, the expert selected the area of the big green block with the circular brush, and then the stacked area chart showed that this group involved 11 addresses and 8 NFTs. Overall, the expert found that the height of the stacked area chart increased over the whole time period, while most of the time the height stayed the same. It indicated that these addresses were holding an increasing number of NFTs at the group level, but they were always trading them within the group. By brushing and dragging the brushed area on the stacked area chart, he analyzed the detailed NFT flows of multiple time periods with the flow-based chart. During this period, the expert found 4 obvious flow graphs, and each of them kept the height of 1 or 2 NFTs. It implied that each address still held 1 or 2 NFTs during the heavily traded process. By observing the trade paths of each unique NFT, the expert discovered that each NFT had many repeated transaction patterns. Each NFT was traded in the exact same order. The expert deduced that these addresses are trading robots that executed the wash trading automatically. Then, the expert found that the flow graphs of these 4 addresses disappeared, while flow graphs of another 4 addresses appeared and were connected with dotted lines, indicating that these 4 addresses directly transferred all NFTs to the other 4 addresses. Similarly, he found that this group of addresses heavily traded NFTs in various ways after that period. According to the findings above, the expert believed that it was a sophisticated wash trading activity by a big group of colluding addresses. After that, the expert then wanted to investigate these small green blocks distributed on a ring area in dark blue. By checking the flow module, he found that the majority of the green blocks contained numerous transactions between 2 or 3 addresses, which seemed like some wash trading activities on a small scale. He changed the background to show the monthly trading volume and found that a light blue ring appeared on the outer area of these green blocks, which was in dark blue when the background displayed the price. It indicated that after the simultaneous appearance of these green blocks, the price of this collection rapidly increased, while trading volume abruptly decreased. Overall, after using NFTDisk, the expert believed that the Meebits collection was filled with various wash trading activities, and wash trading had impacted the price and trading volume of this collection.
In the user interview, we invited 14 NFT investors to use NFTDisk to analyze 3 NFT collections and evaluate the system. Participants first complete a tutorial, then using NFTDisk following 4 tasks. Finally, they were asked to complete post-study questionnaires and interviews. The questionnaire is designed to evaluate the workflow effectiveness, visual design interactions, and usability. The results shows that NFTDisk was highly rated by the participants. Overall, NFTDisk can help investors visually recognize wash trading activities in NFT markets and analyze their scales and effects. For more details, please check our paper. Thank you.